my beloved child. I see you. I see your tears when no one else does. I hear the cries of your heart, even when your lips are silent. You have prayed, yet there seems to be no answer. You have knocked, yet the door remains shut. You have waited, yet nothing seems to change. And now, the silence weighs heavy on your soul. But do you not know? Have you not heard? I, the Lord, am near to the brokenhearted. Psalm 34 verse 18. I have never left you, and I have never forsaken you. Hebrews 13 verse 5. The silence is not my absence. It is my presence in disguise. I know what it means to cry out and feel unheard. I, too, once hung upon a cross, my body broken, my heart heavy with sorrow. I lifted my voice and cried, my God, why have you forsaken me? Matthew 27 verse 46. Yet, even in that silence, my Father was working. And so, I tell you today, even when heaven seems closed, I am working. I see you struggling, wondering if I have turned my face away. I see you questioning if I still care. Oh, my beloved, my love for you is deeper than the oceans and higher than the heavens. Ephesians 3 verses 18 to 19. My silence does not mean I have abandoned you. It means I am drawing you deeper. When you cannot hear my voice, trust my heart. When you cannot see my hand, trust my plan. Remember Joseph? Thrown into a pit, sold as a slave, falsely accused, and left in prison. Heaven seemed closed to him. But I was with him. Even in the darkness, I was molding him, shaping him, preparing him for a destiny greater than he could imagine. Genesis 39 verse 2. And in due time, I lifted him up. So it is with you, my child. I know the dreams I placed in your heart. I know the promises I whispered to your spirit. And I know how long you have waited. You wonder if I have forgotten. But I say to you, though it tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come. Habakkuk 2 verse 3. I am not slow to fulfill my promises as some count slowness. 2 Peter 3 verse 9. I am preparing the perfect moment. If I have closed a door, it is because I am opening a better one. If I have delayed an answer, it is because I am making all things beautiful in their time. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11. Do not mistake my silence for inaction. The seed that is planted in the ground does not grow overnight. In the hidden place, in the dark soil, it takes root. It pushes downward before it rises upward. And when the time is right, it bursts forth into the sunlight. So it is with my work in you. I see the weight you carry. You are tired. You wonder how much longer you can hold on. But I say to you, come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11 verse 28. I am not far away. I am right beside you. I am the fourth man in the fire, just as I was with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Daniel 3 verse 25. I am the voice in the storm, just as I was with my disciples when the waves threatened to swallow them. Mark 4 verse 39. I am the hand that lifts you when you sink, just as I lifted Peter when he doubted. Matthew 14 verse 31. Oh, my beloved, do not be afraid. Do not let your heart be troubled. If you knew what I was preparing for you, you would rejoice even in this silence. For eye has not seen, nor ear heard, nor have entered into the heart of man the things I have prepared for those who love me. 1 Corinthians 2 verse 9. What should you do in this silent season? Worship. Even when you don't feel like it. Sing when your heart is weary. Praise when your soul is weak. When Paul and Silas were in prison, beaten and bound, they worshipped. And suddenly, the prison doors opened, Acts 16 verses 25 to 26. Worship is the key that unlocks doors in the silence. Pray. Even when it feels like I am not listening. For I have bottled every tear, Psalm 56 verse 8. Every whispered prayer, every groan of your spirit, I have heard. Wait. I know the waiting is hard. I know the nights feel long. But those who wait on me shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles, Isaiah 40 verse 31. Trust. Even when you don't understand. My ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts, Isaiah 55 verses 8 to 9. You do not have to see the full picture to trust the artist. Keep going. Do not give up. You may not see the harvest yet, but do not grow weary in doing good. For in due season, you will reap if you do not faint, Galatians 6 verse 9. My child, the silence will not last forever. The night will break into morning. The weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning, Psalm 30 verse 5. Hold on. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. I am with you. I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. I love you with an everlasting love. And soon, very soon, you will see what I have been doing all along. Do you know what the Father is doing in your life right now? Can you perceive it? Even in this silence, even in this stillness, my Father is at work. His hands are upon you, molding you like clay in the potter's hands, Jeremiah 18 verse 6. The shaping is painful, the pressing is uncomfortable, but the vessel that emerges will carry my glory. I know the questions that rise in your heart. You wonder why I do not speak as I once did. You long for the days when my presence felt so near, when my voice was clear, when miracles surrounded you. But now, all seems quiet. You wake up and the heavens seem like brass. You pray, and it feels like your words return empty. You worship, but your soul feels dry. Do not mistake this silence for my absence. This silence is where roots grow deep. The tree that withstands the storm is not the one that grows quickly, but the one whose roots have dug into the unseen places, gripping the depths of the earth. So it is with your faith. I am drawing you deeper. I am calling you to a faith that does not rely on signs and wonders, but on trust. A faith that does not depend on feelings, but on my unshakable word. Do you remember the woman who came to me, desperate for her daughter's healing? She cried out, "Lord, help me." Yet I did not answer her, not a single word, Matthew 15 verses 22 to 23. I was silent. But she did not turn away. She pressed in. She worshipped. And because of her unwavering faith, she received her miracle. My child, I am not ignoring you. I am drawing a deeper faith out of you. A faith that does not retreat when I am silent. A faith that presses through the silence. A faith that holds on even when it seems I am withholding. Look at the stars, do they not shine brightest in the darkest night? Look at the seed, does it not break open in the hidden soil before it ever reaches the surface? So it is with your breakthrough. The darker the night, the greater the glory that follows. The deeper the silence, the stronger the faith that is born from it. I see your struggle. I see how the enemy whispers in your ear, telling you that I have forgotten you. He tells you that you are not chosen, that you are unworthy, that your prayers are wasted. Do not listen to him. He is a liar and the father of lies. John 8 verse 44. He wants you to give up. He wants you to believe the silence means I am gone. But I am here. I have always been here. Did I not tell my disciples that in this world, they would have trouble? But I also told them to take heart, for I have overcome the world. John 16 verse 33. I tell you the same. Your suffering is not the end of your story. The silence is not the final chapter. Have you heard of the refining fire? The silversmith watches over the silver as it is purified. He does not leave it in the fire too long, lest it be destroyed. He waits until he sees his own reflection in the silver, then he knows it is ready. That is what I am doing in you. I am refining you. I am watching over you. I am waiting until my image is reflected in you, then I will say, it is time. You ask me, Lord, what should I do in this silence? Seek me with all your heart, Deuteronomy 4 verse 29. Not half your heart. Not with conditions. Not only when it is easy. Seek me in the silence. Seek me in the stillness. Seek me even when it feels like nothing is changing. Trust me when you cannot understand. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6. Do not try to figure it all out. I know the plans I have for you, and they are good. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. Stand firm. Do not waver. Do not retreat. Do not let go. For though the vision tarries, wait for it, it will surely come. Habakkuk 2 verse 3. And when it does, you will look back and see that I was never silent. I was speaking in ways you did not yet understand. I was leading you even when you could not see. The waiting will not be in vain. The silence will not last forever. The breakthrough is coming. I see how weary your heart has become. I see how you wake up with questions that have no answers. I see how you kneel in prayer, searching for me, straining your ears to hear even the faintest whisper from heaven. And when all you receive is silence, you wonder, Lord, have you forsaken me? But I tell you now, I have never left you. Not for a moment. Even in the silence, I am working. Even in the stillness, I am moving. You do not see it now, but one day, you will understand. My child, remember when I stood before Pilate? He questioned me, he demanded answers, he wanted me to defend myself. But I remained silent. Matthew 27 verses 12 to 14. Do you know why? Because sometimes, silence speaks louder than words. My silence was not weakness. It was my strength. My silence was not defeat. It was victory unfolding. And so it is in your life. You think my silence means I am not listening. You think my silence means your prayers have fallen to the ground. But I am teaching you something greater. I am teaching you to trust me even when you cannot hear me. I am teaching you to believe my promises even when they seem far away. Look at Job. He was a man who walked in righteousness, a man who honored me, a man who feared nothing because he knew I was with him. But then came the trial. His wealth was taken, his children were gone, his body was afflicted. And worst of all, I was silent. For days, for weeks, I did not speak. His friends accused him. His wife told him to curse me and die. But Job did something powerful. He held on. Though he did not understand, he refused to let go. Though he could not hear my voice, he kept believing. And in the end, when the silence lifted, he received double for his trouble. Job 42 verse 10. My child, do not let go. Do not let the silence break you. Let it build you. You ask me, Lord, what do I do when I hear nothing? I tell you, praise me in the silence. Worship me in the waiting. Do not let your lips be silent just because heaven is. Let your faith speak even when I do not. Lift up your hands, not because you feel something, but because you believe something. Did you know that the walls of Jericho did not fall because of swords, but because of silence? For 6 days, my people marched around those walls, and I told them to say nothing. Joshua 6 verse 10. Not a word. Just obedience. Just trust. And then, on the 7th day, when the time was right, they lifted their voices in a mighty shout, and the walls came down. Joshua 6 verse 20. So it is with you. Your walls are still standing because I am still building your testimony. Your answer has not come yet because I am setting the stage for a greater miracle. But the day will come when I will tell you to lift your voice in praise, and every barrier will crumble before you. I have not forgotten the promises I made to you. I have not abandoned the dreams I placed in your heart. But I am more concerned with shaping your character than giving you comfort. I am more interested in growing your faith than answering every question. You see delay, but I see development. You see silence, but I see strategy. Do you remember Lazarus? When his sisters sent word that he was sick, I could have healed him immediately. I could have spoken one word, and the sickness would have vanished. But instead, I waited. I stayed where I was. I was silent. And in that silence, Lazarus died. But my child, hear me, just because something seems dead does not mean it is over. Just because the door has closed does not mean I cannot open another. When I finally arrived, Martha cried, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. John 11 verse 21. She thought my silence meant I had abandoned them. She thought my delay meant I did not care. But she did not understand that I was writing a greater testimony. I did not come just to heal Lazarus, I came to resurrect him. I tell you now, the thing you thought was over, the thing you thought was buried, the thing you thought I had ignored, I am about to breathe life into it. I am the resurrection and the life. John 11 verse 25. Your silence is not a burial, it is a planting. And soon, what has been hidden will break through the soil. Soon, what has been still will begin to move. I know the enemy whispers that I have left you. I know he tries to convince you that your prayers are empty. But listen to me, my child, he is afraid of what you will become after this season. He is terrified of the anointing being birthed in you. That is why he wants you to stop believing. That is why he wants you to walk away. But I say to you, do not be afraid. Only believe. Mark 5 verse 36. Your miracle is closer than you think. Your breakthrough is nearer than you know. Do not grow weary in well-doing, for in due season, you will reap if you do not give up. Galatians 6 verse 9. I have not forgotten you. I have not ignored your cries. The heavens may be silent, but the answer is on the way. And when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. Isaiah 60 verse 22. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord, your God, is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He does not grow weary, and he does not forget. Isaiah 40 verse 28. Though you feel unseen, though you feel unheard, I am right here with you. I see how the silence presses against your faith, how the weight of waiting tries to crush your spirit. You ask, how long, Lord? How much more must I endure? But my child, if only you could see what I am doing behind the curtain of time. If only you could perceive the battles I am fighting on your behalf, the doors I am preparing to open, the way I am making where there seems to be no way. I am not just answering your prayers, I am building you for what I have promised. I am stretching your faith, enlarging your capacity, making you strong enough to carry the blessing I have prepared. I tell you, do not despise this season. Do not let frustration blind you to my process. A farmer does not sow seed and demand a harvest the next day. He understands that there is a season of waiting, a season where the seed is buried in the darkness of the soil, unseen and unnoticed. But he does not fear, for he knows that deep in the unseen place, life is taking root. So it is with you. Your faith is growing in the silence. Your character is being refined in the waiting. The roots of your endurance are stretching deep into my presence, anchoring you for the storm ahead. Did I not say, those who wait upon the Lord will renew their strength? They will mount up with wings like eagles, they will run and not grow weary, they will walk and not faint. Isaiah 40 verse 31. You feel weak now, but I am making you strong. You feel abandoned, but I am closer than your breath. You feel forgotten, but your name is written on the palm of my hand. Isaiah 49 verse 16. Listen to me, my beloved. This season is not a punishment. It is preparation. Joseph was given a dream of greatness, but before he could wear the robe of authority, he had to wear the chains of a prisoner. He had to endure betrayal, endure slavery, endure false accusation. And in the silence of that prison, he must have wondered, did God forget me? Did I hear him wrong? But I had not forgotten him. The silence was working for his good. The waiting was shaping him for the throne. And when the appointed time came, I lifted him from the prison to the palace in a single moment. Genesis 41 verse 14. Do you see? The delay was not denial. The silence was not abandonment. It was the path to destiny. And so it is with you. You ask me, Lord, why must I suffer like this? Because endurance produces character, and character produces hope, and hope does not put you to shame. Romans 5 verses 3-5. You ask me, Lord, why must I wait so long? Because I am perfecting what concerns you. I am aligning every detail. I am making sure that when the breakthrough comes, you will be ready to receive it. If I gave it to you too soon, it would crush you. If I opened the door now, you would not be strong enough to walk through it. But when the fullness of time comes, when you have been refined in the fire of waiting, when your heart is steadfast and your faith unshaken, then, oh, my child, then you will see that I was never silent. I was speaking through the waiting. I was leading you through the stillness. I was working when you thought nothing was happening. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before I called him from the burning bush, Exodus 3 verses 1 to 2. David was anointed king, but he spent years running from Saul before he sat on the throne, 1 Samuel 16 verses 13 and 2 Samuel 5:4. Paul spent years in obscurity before I sent him to shake the nations, Galatians 1 verses 15 to 18. And you, my beloved, are in your preparation season. Do not grow weary. Do not let the silence deceive you. I am not a man that I should lie, nor the son of man that I should change my mind, Numbers 23:19. What I have spoken over you will come to pass. The vision is for an appointed time. Though it tarry, wait for it will surely come, Habakkuk 2 verse 3. And when it does, you will look back on this season and see my fingerprints in every silent moment. You will say, Lord, now I understand. Now I see what you were doing all along. But until then, trust me. Hold on to me. Keep your lamp burning, keep your faith alive. I am not just preparing the blessing for you, I am preparing you for the blessing. And when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen, Isaiah 60 verse 22. I see you struggling to hold back the tears. I see how your heart aches, how your mind is weary, how your soul groans in the silence. You wonder if I still hear you. You wonder if I still see you. You wonder if I still care. But my child, I tell you this, before you called, I already answered, Isaiah 65 verse 24. Before the tears fell, I already caught them. Before your prayers left your lips, I had already begun working. You may not feel it. You may not see it. But I am the God who never sleeps nor slumbers, Psalm 121 verse 4. Even in the silence, I am watching over you. The silence is not the end of your story. The silence is the space where I am strengthening your faith. Have you not read? The woman with the issue of blood suffered for 12 years. 12 years of waiting, 12 years of crying, 12 years of unanswered prayers. She spent all she had, yet nothing changed. The silence from heaven must have felt unbearable. But one day, in a single moment, she touched my garment, and her waiting ended. Her healing came. Her suffering was over, Mark 5 verses 25 to 29. What if she had given up in year 11? What if she had decided that my silence meant I had abandoned her? She would have missed her miracle. And so I say to you, hold on. The moment you have been praying for is closer than you think. The silence is not forever. The breakthrough is on its way. Do you remember the disciples on the boat? The storm was raging. The waves crashed against them. The wind howled around them. And where was I? Asleep. Silent. Still. They thought I did not care. They thought I had left them to perish. But when the time was right, I stood and spoke, "Peace, be still," and the storm obeyed, Mark 4 verse 39. So it will be with you. You think I am asleep in your storm. You think I am silent in your suffering. But when the appointed time comes, I will arise. I will speak. and every storm in your life will bow to my command. Do not be afraid. Only believe. Mark 5 verse 36. The enemy wants you to think my silence means I have forgotten you. But he is a liar. He knows that your faith is being strengthened in this silence. He knows that if you endure, you will emerge stronger, bolder, unshakable. I did not bring you this far to leave you. I did not call you by name only to abandon you now. Have you not heard? I am the good shepherd, John 10 verse 11. A shepherd never leaves his sheep, even when they cannot see him. Even when they cannot hear him, he is always near. You are mine, and I will never let you go. My child, I know you are tired. I know the silence feels heavy. But your waiting is not wasted. Your faith is not in vain. Your prayers are not empty words. I am moving. I am working. And when the time is right, I will make everything beautiful. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11. So do not give up. Do not turn away. Do not let go of hope. Because soon, the silence will break. The dawn will come. The floodgates will open. And you will see that I was never absent. I was never ignoring you. I was preparing you for something greater than you imagined. I see you clinging to hope, yet wondering how much longer you can hold on. I hear your silent cries, the prayers you whisper in the darkness, the words you cannot even speak aloud. The silence feels unbearable, the waiting feels endless, and you wonder, has God forgotten me? But listen to me, my child, I have not forgotten you. How could I? You are engraved on the palm of my hand, Isaiah 49 verse 16. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you. Before you took your first breath, I had already prepared your path, Jeremiah 1 verse 5. You feel lost in this season of silence, but I am guiding your every step. Even when you do not see me, even when you do not hear me, I am there. I know the enemy whispers lies in your ears. God has abandoned you. Your prayers are useless. Nothing will ever change. But he is a liar and the father of lies, John 8 verse 44. Do not listen to him. My silence is not my absence. My delay is not my denial. You ask, Lord, why must I wait so long? Because my timing is perfect. Because I am preparing you. Because the weight of the blessing I am about to release in your life requires a faith that is unshakable. Look at Abraham, he waited years for the promise. He was old, his wife was barren, and nothing seemed possible. But did I not fulfill my word? Did I not give him Isaac at the appointed time? Genesis 21 verses 1 to 2. Look at Hannah, she wept bitterly, year after year, waiting for a child. The silence must have felt unbearable. But did I not open her womb at the right time? Did I not give her Samuel, the prophet who would change a nation? 1 Samuel 1 verse 20. Look at Joseph, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, locked in prison. He had a dream, yet for years, it seemed like nothing was happening. The silence must have been deafening. But did I not raise him up in one moment? Did I not bring him from the prison to the palace in a single day? Genesis 41 verse 14. And my child, do you think I will not do the same for you? Do you think I have forgotten what I have spoken over your life? No. My promises are yes and amen. 2 Corinthians 1 verse 20. What I have declared over you will surely come to pass. The vision is for an appointed time. Though it tarries, wait for it will surely come. Habakkuk 2 verse 3. I know the waiting is hard. I know the silence makes you doubt. But I am building something in you that cannot be shaken. I am teaching you to trust me, even when you cannot see. I am stretching your faith, even when nothing seems to be happening. I am refining your heart, so that when the breakthrough comes, you will not just receive the blessing, but you will carry it well. You ask me, Lord, why does it feel like I am in the wilderness? Because I am training you for the next season. Because the land I am leading you to requires preparation. Because I am teaching you to rely on me and not on what you see. Did I not do the same with my people, Israel? I could have taken them straight to the promised land, but I led them through the wilderness to prepare them. Deuteronomy 8 verses 2 to 3. The wilderness was not a punishment, it was preparation. And the silence you are experiencing now is not a sign of my absence, but of my process. I know the pain you feel. I know the questions that keep you awake at night. Lord, why have you hidden your face from me? Why do you not answer when I call? Why does it feel like you are so far away? Even my servant David cried out the same words, my God, why have you forsaken me? Psalm 22 verse 1. But was I really gone? No. I was right there, shaping him, strengthening him, preparing him to be king. And I am doing the same for you. I know it feels like heaven is closed, like your prayers are bouncing off the ceiling. But I tell you, my beloved, every word you speak, every tear you cry, every prayer you whisper, I hear them all. And I am working. Do not let the silence deceive you. Even when the seed is buried in the ground, it is growing. Even when the roots are hidden beneath the soil, life is forming. And soon, very soon, the fruit will appear. Hold on to me. Do not let go of your faith. Did I not say, blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because when they have stood the test, they will receive the crown of life. James 1 verse 12. Your reward is coming. Your breakthrough is near. The door I am about to open, no man can shut. Revelation 3 verse 8. So, my child, do not give up now. Keep praying, even when you hear nothing. Keep worshiping, even when you feel nothing. Keep trusting, even when you see nothing. Because soon, the silence will break. Soon, the heavens will open. Soon, you will see that I was never absent. I was here all along, watching over you, fighting for you, preparing something greater than you ever imagined. And when the answer comes, you will look back on this silent season and say, now I understand. Now I see what you were doing all along, Lord. Until then, hold on. For when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. Isaiah 60 verse 22. I see you trembling in the silence. I see how the weight of waiting has made your heart weary. You wonder if I have turned my face away from you. You ask yourself, has God forgotten me? Has He forsaken me? Why does heaven feel closed? But listen to me, my beloved, I have never left you. I have never turned away from you. Even in this silence, I am closer than your very breath. I know the agony of waiting. I know the pain of silence. I, too, have walked through it. Do you remember me in the Garden of Gethsemane? I prayed. I wept. I cried out to my Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Matthew 26 verse 39. But there was silence. Heaven was quiet. Yet in that silence, my purpose was unfolding. I know what it means to cry out and hear no response. I know what it feels like to be surrounded by darkness and wonder if the light will ever come again. But I tell you this, my child, the silence does not mean I have left you. Just as my Father was working through my silence, I am working through yours. The greatest miracles often begin in the quietest seasons. Do you remember my servant Job? He was a righteous man. He feared me. He obeyed me. But one day, everything was taken from him, his wealth, his children, his health. And in his suffering, I was silent. His friends spoke. His wife told him to curse me and die. But I did not speak. I waited. And Job, though broken and confused, still held on to his faith. He said, though he slay me, yet will I trust him. Job 13 verse 15. My child, will you trust me in the silence? Because when the silence lifted, when I finally spoke, I restored Job's life double what he had lost. Job 42 verse 10. You see only the pain of waiting, but I see the purpose in it. I see the faith growing within you. I see the strength being built in your soul. I see the testimony forming in your life. You want the silence to end quickly, but I tell you, do not rush the process. Do not try to force open a door before its appointed time. If you open the door too soon, you will step into a blessing you are not prepared to carry. I do not give gifts that will destroy you. I do not send blessings that will become burdens. I am preparing you for what is ahead. Have you not read? When I gave my people manna in the wilderness, I gave them just enough for each day. Exodus 16 verse 4. Why? Because I wanted them to trust me daily, not just for the future, but for each moment. And so, I ask you, will you trust me today? Not just for the promise of tomorrow, not just for the breakthrough that is coming, but for this very moment. Will you trust that my silence is not a punishment, but a preparation? I know you are weary. I know you feel forgotten. But I tell you now, I have counted every tear. I have written down every prayer. Not a single cry of your heart has gone unnoticed. You ask me, Lord, why does it feel like I am in a desert? Because I am leading you to the promised land. You see a barren wasteland, but I see a land of milk and honey. You feel abandoned, but I am holding your hand. You think you are alone, but I am walking beside you. Have I not said, I will never leave you nor forsake you? Deuteronomy 31 verse 6. You must believe me even when you do not feel me. My greatest works are done in the silence. When I formed the earth, I spoke, but before the words came, there was silence. When I breathed life into Adam, the world was still and quiet. When I lay in the tomb, the world was silent before the resurrection. And now, in your life, there is silence. But do not be afraid, because the silence always comes before the glory. You ask, how much longer, Lord? And I say to you, not a moment longer than necessary. If you rush ahead, you may miss my perfect plan. If you give up now, you may walk away from the very thing you have been praying for. So I tell you, do not quit. Do not stop believing. Do not let go of faith. Do not turn away from me just because you do not hear my voice. I am still here. I am still working. And when the time is right, I will speak. When the time is right, the doors will open. When the time is right, the breakthrough will come. When the time is right, you will understand why you had to wait. But until then, trust me. For my ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts. Isaiah 55 verse 9. I am the God who turned water into wine, just in time for the wedding feast. John 2 verses 1 to 11. I am the God who raised Lazarus, just when everyone thought it was too late. John 11 verses 43 to 44. I am the God who calmed the storm, just when my disciples thought they would drown. Mark 4 verse 39. And I am your God. I will not fail you. So, my beloved, even when heaven feels closed, even when all you hear is silence, do not be afraid. Hold on to my promises. Hold on to me. Because when the silence finally breaks, you will not just receive an answer, you will receive me. And I am more than enough. I know your heart is burdened. I see the questions you don't say out loud. You ask, Lord, have you abandoned me? Why does it feel like my prayers hit the ceiling? Why do I see no sign, no wonder, no voice? You kneel in the quiet of your room, waiting for a whisper, for a sign that I am near. And when none comes, you feel as though I have turned away. But listen to me, my precious one. I am still here. Even when heaven feels silent, even when the darkness surrounds you, even when the waiting seems unbearable, I am here. I have not moved. I have not forgotten you. My love for you has not grown cold. I am working in the silence. Do you remember my servant Abraham? I promised him a son. I told him that his descendants would be as numerous as the stars in the sky. Genesis 15 verse 5. And yet, for years, I was silent. The promise did not come quickly. The waiting tested his faith, his endurance, his trust in me. He wondered, did I hear God correctly? Will he really fulfill what he said? And in the waiting, he grew weary. But I was faithful. At the appointed time, I fulfilled my word. Sarah bore Isaac, and the promise I had spoken became reality. Genesis 21 verses 1 to 3. Not a moment too soon, not a moment too late. My timing is perfect. Will you trust me even when you do not understand? You cry out, Lord, I do not see a way forward. But I tell you, I am the way. John 14 verse 6. You say, I cannot hear your voice. But I say, my sheep know my voice, even when they do not perceive it in the way they expect. John 10 verse 27. When you cannot hear me, trust that I am still speaking through my word, through my spirit, through the unfolding of your days. Silence is not absence. Delay is not denial. Waiting is not punishment. I am preparing you. Do not rush what I am building in you. Do you remember Joseph? I gave him dreams of greatness, visions of what was to come. Genesis 37 verses 5 to 10. But before he saw the fulfillment, he endured betrayal, slavery, and imprisonment. For years, he faced trial after trial. He could have doubted. He could have turned away. But he held on to me. And when my time came, I raised him from the prison to the palace. Genesis 41 verses 39 to 41. I do not waste pain. I do not allow trials without purpose. What you see as silence, I see as shaping. What you call a delay, I call divine timing. Will you wait for me? You say, Lord, my heart is breaking. I say, I am close to the brokenhearted and save those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm 34 verse 18. You whisper, Lord, I am weary of waiting. I whisper back, come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11 verse 28. I have heard every prayer. I have counted every tear. I have seen every sleepless night. And I am telling you now, do not give up. You are closer than you think. Breakthrough does not come in the moment you expect. It comes in the moment I have appointed. And when it comes, you will understand why you had to wait. But what should you do in the silence? Do what David did, strengthen yourself in me. 1 Samuel 30 verse 6. Do what Paul and Silas did, praise me even in the prison. Acts 16 verses 25 to 26. Do what Job did, worship even when you do not understand. Job 1 verses 20 to 21. Do what my disciples did, wait in faith for the outpouring of my Spirit. Acts 1 verse 4. If I have allowed a silent season, it is because I am growing something deep in you. Roots grow in the dark. Seeds develop in the soil. Diamonds are formed under pressure. And I am forming something in you that you cannot yet see. Do not mistake my silence for my absence. Did I not say, I will never leave you nor forsake you? Hebrews 13 verse 5. Did I not promise, I am with you always, even to the end of the age? Matthew 28 verse 20. Trust that I am nearer than you feel. Trust that I am working even when you do not see. Trust that when the silence lifts, the testimony will be greater than you imagined. And until then, hold on. Hold on to my promises. Hold on to my presence. Hold on to my love. Because when this season ends, you will not just see my faithfulness, you will see my glory. And it will all be worth it.